Welcome to the Masked Shinobi, episode number 2, and thank you for joining me today. I'm Firehawk the Masked Shinobi, and I'm really excited about doing episode number 2 of the podcast. Thank you for all of you that watched the last episode. I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited about continuing this journey and continuing doing the podcast. And I'm excited about obviously talking about what's coming up on this episode. We're going to talk about obviously what I've been watching, as always, some anime news. I definitely want to talk a little bit about some anime music, and then I have a question about Kakashi at the end of it, and so I think it'll be really interesting topic to talk about. So definitely stay tuned for that, and be ready to listen to mine and my opinion, and obviously give me your opinion. Tell me how you feel about some of these things. I greatly appreciate that. So obviously we always, as always, and on my podcast, we always start with what I've been watching. So I kind of go through some of the animes that I've been watching. I watch a lot of anime, obviously, and I usually have at least probably about 4 or 5 that I've been watching throughout a week, and so I try to share those with you and kind of what I'm watching and kind of my ideas and thoughts on those, which a lot of them happen to be romances. I do love romance, obviously, a lot, so a lot of times they do tend to be romances a lot. Obviously I watched the first season of Mob Psycho 100. Great series. I definitely really like it. Definitely looking forward to watching more of it. So I think there's 3 seasons right now, and I think a movie. And I definitely really am excited about watching more of it. First season's really good. I think Mob is fits into that great, anime hero type thing. And what I mean by that is, for me, obviously it's a little bit different because it's about, psychics and reading minds and psychic powers and stuff like that, which I think is really cool because it's different than a lot of other animes out there. But what I also think is great, you see a lot of the relationships just like you see in like Naruto. What I always love about Naruto is how not only did he work hard to make himself better, but all those around him, he made them better just by being himself, and they strive to be better. Like Gaara would not be the person he became without Naruto. And so you see all that, and the same thing with like Black Clover and Asta. The Black Bulls became who they are because of Asta. ReZero and Subaru, you see all those want to be better and different elements. They work harder because Subaru has no magical powers, but he still works hard. He has no abilities, no nothing. And so you see that in a lot of different series of people working hard and affecting those around him. Like you can continue with that with all kinds of different series, Demon Slayer and Tanjiro, just a whole list of main characters who not only do they strive to be better themselves, but they change all those around them. And that's, you can add Mob's name to that list because Mob strives to be the best version of himself, and he affects other people around him. And I think that's what I really like about this series. And so I'm definitely looking forward to watching more of it. So far I've only watched the first season, so I'm definitely looking forward to watching more seasons for sure. And I do like, just the relationship with his brother and those around him, and I think it's really cool. So definitely worth watching. If you haven't watched it, definitely join me in watching more of it. Join me with first season and head on to the next one. I definitely would like to hear other people's thoughts on Mob Psycho 100. I also, like I said, I watch a lot of romances. So I watch Snow White with the red hair. I do like the dynamics of the relationship and just kind of falling in love. The only sad thing about it is, just like any other romances, they don't always really fall. You only get like one season, and sometimes at the end they're not together. They are together, but they make a promise that they're going to get married. They make a promise that they're going to be together forever and da da da, and whatever. But the story does continue in manga, so mangas are great to get. I always try to sometimes continue those stories that I really love in mangas, and I do read a lot of mangas as well, and stuff like that. I do actually have a bunch of mangas coming in right now. Definitely excited about reading a bunch of them right now. I'm reading, Kenji number 8, which I really like. I'm really kind of addicted to that. I read the first 2 volumes, and I've already bought all the rest of the volumes, so I'll continue all the way to 9 until we get to 10. But I'm really excited about that. But anyways, if you want to continue the story after you see the anime, you can continue that in mangas, because the manga is ongoing. It is continuing, and it is dubbed and subbed, so you can watch it either way, whatever one you prefer. Just like Mob is subbed and dubbed as well, so you can watch that one either way you prefer. This one, how I say, has a long name, just like a lot of them, is Our Dating Story, the experienced you and the inexperienced me. I think it's a really cute story. They actually are dating, so they do start dating each other, and it's just kind of cool to see the dynamics of their relationship and how they feel about each other, and just how that grows and stuff like that. And I think it's a cute story. The only thing is, if you are one of those people that do not want to watch it unless it is dubbed, you will miss out, because this series is only subtitled. But it is definitely a good series. And again, the story continues on again in the mangas. Only one season, but the story continues on in manga, so definitely have to end up getting mangas to finish some of these stories. The next one that I'm watching, that I started watching and I got addicted to, but also there's some series that I really love that I think is just, I get addicted to, but I also get frustrated by. So this is one of them. Toradora is such a cute story with Tigera and Nam. I just think it's such a cute story and such a cute dynamic. They obviously want to be with other people. They're going to help each other out, their neighbors, and stuff like that. And just a bunch of different things with the story. And again, this is also subbed and dubbed, so you can watch it either way. And I think the story is really cute. Obviously, they want to chase other people. There's a lot of different dynamics in it. There's obviously an LGBT aspect of it, because one of the characters is kind of struggling with her sexuality. She's not sure she likes him or her. Obviously, she's not sure. But it is a really cool story. But it gets frustrating because you're just like, get you two, just figure out that you love each other, and it takes a while. But and it does kind of end stinky, because they are planning on getting married and all that stuff, but then they kind of separate. She goes back off to her family and different things, and it just kind of annoys me. But the story does continue on in the manga, so this one I'll probably have to finish, just because I want to see them actually be together, and that's just how I am. So we'll see how it goes, but it was definitely one of those series that just kind of frustrated me so much. But it is really cute, because you normally have certain anime girls that look a certain way. Most of the anime girls in any romance look a certain way, and it's kind of nice to see Tigra, who is different. She's a little short, feisty girl, and she does have obviously problems with her body, and different things that she is working on. But I think it is really cute, and I really do love the story. Just want more. So, but don't we all? I mean, that's kind of how romances are. There's so many romances out there, and there's some of them that we are getting more seasons, and I'm really excited about that. And there's a bunch of new ones that are coming out right now that I am going to check out. I've heard a lot about, like, Signs of Affection. There's one, the Angel Dances with the Devil, Tale of Wedding Rings. There's a bunch of romances coming out right now that sound really good, and so I'm not exactly sure. I haven't watched Leveling either, and I kind of want to watch that too. I've been kind of waiting. Sometimes I wait so I can binge this season, but I may end up watching. I think most of these have like 8 episodes, so I may just end up watching and just kind of going as they release them. I'll watch the episodes or whatever, but probably will try to catch up with some of those. So you might see some of those mentioned in next week's podcast. When we mention it, I might talk that I've watched some of those, but we'll see. I do watch a lot of anime, so I'm always trying to watch more, and there's some other ones that I start watching, and I'm, like One Piece. I'm trying to catch up on One Piece, and I have been watching a lot of One Piece, and trying to finish My Hero Academia, and stuff like that, especially with April coming up and season 7 coming. I'd like to be caught up by then. So, but that's kind of where we are with what I've been watching right now. Definitely tell me what your thoughts are, what some of the animes that I should watch. I do watch a lot of romances, like I said, but I do watch a lot of other animes and stuff. But I like romance, but I do like to watch a lot of other animes, and I do get sucked in to a good anime. My first anime was not a romance, obviously, so it was Hunter x Hunter, and we kind of talked about that a little bit last week. So, but definitely want to share that. In anime news, obviously the big news is today, McDonald's is having their big anime themed menu starting today. In some places, they're also going to have a special sauce. I think I have a picture of that in the next slide. Dixie, in the next slide. But I'm really excited about, just this is kind of really cool. Them announcing it, and we've always had this McDonald's type theme, which is I guess would be what there's Mick, so it'd be Wickdonald's. I guess that's how you would say it, Wickdonald's. And they're kind of going into that theme, and so they're putting as Wickdonald's on the sauces, and they're releasing four different like short manga type styles. They're doing like short anime type series, and I think they're doing one that's called Race to McDonald's, which is going to be an action with two heroes in it. I guess racing to McDonald's. There's one that's going to be which this picture right here has a lot of the characters that are from these different things. So the first two there are the Race to McDonald's. So they have a bunch of different ones. They have a romance one, which is going to be Love from Across the Booth. They have fantasy ones, Wick Nuggets, Space Frontier 3000. And then they have one that's called Wisdom of the Sauce. And so these are all different ones, which obviously, like I said, they have also announced that they're going to have their sauces for limited times. Try our new savory chili McDonald's sauce, only for a limited time. So they do have it available for a limited time. I think it might only be like a month or so. So this is one of the big announcements of this week, obviously, and now today it starts. So we'll see what that's like and how much business it brings. I am interested to see the anime series, see what they're like, and see how they do the stories. I think it'll be interesting. Another big news this week was that they got a director for the Naruto live action. Obviously, that's the big thing right now that people are doing is live actions, and so they've been planning on a live action Naruto movie, and they signed on the director of the Shang-Chi of Legend of the Ten Rings. They got that they signed that director on to be the director, and it's with Lionsgate. So there's been a lot of other rumors spread around that Tom Holland's going to be Naruto and things. None of that stuff has been been actually verified who's going to be in the cast yet. All they've said and all they've told us is that they signed on a director and that the film is in the works. So I don't think they're filming yet. They're working on all the things, but now they have a director, so that means that they're closer to, picking a cast, picking producers, things like that. So we'll see who. I mean, it is through Lionsgate, so they may pick some actors, but I'm assuming that they'll probably try to. They might try to stay more Asian cast. But I can't say that for sure. I don't know. I mean, not that I'm against Tom Holland playing Naruto. It just be different. I don't know if that's who my choice would be. I do like him, and I think that he'd bring in an audience, obviously, because he has a lot of fans. And so I just don't know. Like, I don't know how someone's going to do. Like, I am worried about them doing a live action movie because I don't want them to ruin Naruto. But I think that's what we all worry about when they start doing live actions. I guess I prefer the anime versions. That's just me. I'm not really into I know a lot of people are into the different live actions that they're doing that people say are really good. Obviously, One Piece really brought that out, and so Netflix, that's Netflix is coming back now with that. Netflix is on the rise again. They're getting wrestling. They're getting, they got One Piece. They have another live action. I think they're planning on a couple others that they're talking about. So they're definitely going into the live action world of doing something different. And like I said, they're going to have wrestling, so all those wrestling fans are going to have to go to Netflix. So, and roughly so, because I mean, a lot of people started beating them. They were the ones that started exclusive, and then everybody else took their idea and started doing them just like they did. So that way you had to buy their streaming service. So, and then obviously with anime music, obviously one of the first anime musics that I fell in love with, I absolutely fell in love with, is Tokyo Ghoul Season 1, Unravel. It made me fall in love with the series. I had, my baby brother told me that I would love the Tokyo Ghoul. And I was like, oh, okay. And for a long time, I guess I didn't want to watch any other animes other than Hunter x Hunter, because I figured, I guess, if you love something, I thought it would take away my love for Hunter x Hunter, because I do love Hunter x Hunter so much, and it's very special to me. But I found that out that as long as you go, that you discover that your first anime is always going to be special to you. I guess you can equate it to like a first relationship, your first love. That person's always going to be special to you, no matter what. You're always going to have a love for it. It may not be your absolute favorite or your or whatever. I mean, Hunter x Hunter, I would consider one of my absolute favorites. Do I think it's the best anime in the world? No, I'm not naive to think that. Some people do get blindsided by their favorites, and they think that what they love is the best, and that's great to have passion like that. And it's great to love what you love, and I think that's how I was for a while. I didn't want to watch any other animes, and so then I did start branching off, and then when I finally started watching other ones, I started watching, branching off and watching, Demon Slayer, and then I started watching Fire Force, and and then eventually I got to Naruto and Tokyo Ghoul, and just kind of started branching off. But what really drove me into Tokyo Ghoul wasn't just the story, though; it was the music, and I think that I love a lot of the anime music, like Naruto. I love, especially I think Naruto, the OG Naruto, the first Naruto series, not Naruto Shippuden, but Naruto. I think most of their songs were just straight up bangers. They were all great songs. I actually bought the vinyl of the Naruto, of the Naruto series and stuff like that. I actually bought the vinyl of it which I had to have it shipped from Europe to get here, because it wasn't available in the States. But I had it shipped here to have all the songs. They have the openings and the endings, which I think are amazing. Like every single one is great. And so I love anime music, and I think it gets me more into the Japanese music scene, which I have become a super fan of. I've always been a super fan of music. I've always loved music. I still love music, and I'm probably more into Japanese music right now than I am into any other music. Not that I won't listen to my other music that I have. I have so much music, and I love music, but I do really love the Japanese music scene. I think it's really special, and I just really love it. Like this song though, like I'm gonna tell you, this song right here is like one of my all-time favorite anime songs, and I think, and I think it might be arguably the most recognizable anime song. I'm just saying that I think it might be the most recognizable. Everybody in the world probably recognizes this one. It's very, very popular. I'm not going to say it's the most popular. It might be though. It could be, because it is super popular. And this is obviously a cover of Unravel. I actually do own it. I bought it because I fell in love with this song. And I will tell you that if you're one of those people that don't like listening to music and different things in Japanese, again, I'm going to say this. If you listen to the English version of this song, it's trash. Straight trash. The melody is changed. Everything is changed because the words have changed. Because the way everything gets worded is different. Because we add, like, I'm learning Japanese, obviously. I'm taking Japanese courses and trying to learn Japanese, obviously. And one thing that you learn about Japanese, obviously there's two different types of the ways of speaking in Japanese. Obviously there's a formal and an informal way of speaking. But Japanese is also very literal. It doesn't, the way you say things, you don't add a lot of fluff words like we in the English version do. We add, the does and the whatever, here's and whatever. Some of those things are just implied in the Japanese language. And so when you translate it, it changes a lot of things. But that's anything. If you see something originally, like my brother is Mexican, so he speaks a lot of things in Spanish, and he'll say it's funnier in Spanish. He says things like that because it doesn't translate well. Some things just don't translate well. And so I think that this is one of those songs that if you translate it over to English, it just ruins it all. There is an English version of the song, and it just ruined. It doesn't hit like the original version hits. It doesn't hit this song is like everything you could want in a song. You start out sad, then you got a build up, and then it hits, and it just, there's everything you could want in any song in this song. And so if you haven't watched Tokyo Ghoul, definitely watch season 1, and you'll get addicted to this song too, because if you watch season 1 of Tokyo Ghoul, guaranteed by the end of season 1, you will love this song. You'll be addicted to the song, and every time you hear it, you'll just be like, that's my song. That's my jam. But again, Japanese version, Japanese is like, you have to listen to it from TK. If you don't listen to it from TK, then it's probably going to be trash. I don't like any other versions. I like the original version from Tokyo Ghoul and the original artist. So that's just me. And like I said, there's a lot of other animes that I think have really good music out there. Like I said, Naruto, I think their music is really well. Fire Force, I think, man, both seasons, their entrance music hits really hard. You have the first one that's Inferno, and by Mrs. Green Apple, which is really, really good. And the second one you have Mayday, which is actually in English, which most people don't know this. They have a big rock culture in Japan, and a lot of the bands there do sing a lot of their songs in English. So Cold Rain, who does Mayday, some people are like, oh, maybe it's an unheard of English band. No, it's a Japanese band called Cold Rain, and they do Mayday, which is an amazing song. They have some other songs out there that are really good as well, but Mayday is like just absolutely great. But it has made me love the Japanese like music scene. There's so many of them out there. There's so many great bands out there that I just really, really love. Obviously, I fell down like the rabbit hole of music, and obviously one of the top bands out there is One OK Rock. And if you haven't listened to One OK Rock, they do a lot of music in English, but they do Japanese versions of songs, and I do like the songs that have at least a little bit of Japanese in it. I like it, and there's some that I've listened to them so many times that I can actually sing the Japanese version of it with him, but I can't. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying yet. I haven't gotten to that point where I know all these words and stuff like that. I do know. I do. I could probably at least enough. I know enough Japanese where I could approach someone, ask them questions, and ask them if I can definitely ask them if they know English and things like that. I know some of those things. I can ask about food and water and stuff like that. Ask them where certain stations are. I've gotten the basics of that stuff down. But I love a lot of the music scene. My First Story, which obviously One OK Rock and My First Story, they're brothers. The lead singers are brothers, which are amazing. Both of them are great. I love both of their. I love One OK Rock. I'm definitely addicted to them, but I'm also addicted to My First Story, which some of the songs are just amazing. I really, really love them, like Missing You and what is it? I know missing. Well, I know Missing You, and I can't remember. I think it's Revailer, I think. It's one of the two songs that I really like. There's some other ones that I like too. I think they just did one. I think it's I'm a Mess. I like that. But One OK Rock, I love most. I like pretty much all their songs. Like Save Yourself. They have so many different ones out there. Broken Heart of Gold, and I bet definitely a lot of different songs and that are really, really good. So definitely worth looking up and seeing them. But also I fell in love with other groups like like the rock scene is like that's very strong there. Like I said, because then you also have you have Attack on Titan, who use Sim or Silence in Motion, and which is another Japanese band who did the Rumbling song, which is another top anime song. The Rumbling is amazing. And then also for Attack on Titan, they did Under the Tree, which is such a cool song, but it's also sad in the same instance because it goes so much with Attack on Titan. And I love both their songs, like both those songs. But that's another band that's from Japan, and they have other ones that are out there that most people don't know yet. Like Oral Cigarettes and different bands like that. There's so many out there that are just great. But I also love, like, for me, I also like other groups like Baby Metal. Like Baby Metal I just love all of them. I actually have another vinyl record of Baby Metal too, because I just can't get enough of them too. So like I said, I really love, and that's what I like about anime too. It brings a passion of music over, and that's what I like about Japanese style music. Like, don't get mad at me for saying this about K-pop, because I do like K-pop. I love the Stray Kids. One of my favorite. That's my K-pop band. But the style of K-pop is pretty much the same. It's when you see K-pop, you're like, that's K-pop. Okay? When people say something's J-pop, it may actually be J-rock, really, Japanese rock, or it may be rap. There's a rap scene with guys like Sky High, which I love. Sky High, great rapper. I love rap. I grew up loving rap, and then that made me love Japanese rap so much more too, because now they have, they have their own version, which some of the rappers are amazing. Like I said, Sky High is probably one of my favorites. But like I said, you have such this great culture out there of music, and there's different. You got metal music, you got rock music, you got pop music, you got all of it, and some people will label all of it as J-pop. But that's what I like about it. They have all the genres, and it you can't. They may label it J-pop, but it's really rock and roll. You know, the rock scene is alive and well in Japan for sure. It's not as alive in America as it is in Japan. But I just love anime music. If you haven't heard any of these bands, give them a chance. If you like English style music, you can listen to some of these bands and listen to their songs, because a lot of them are in English. Especially One OK Rock, most of their songs are in English. My First Story, some of them are, some of them aren't. Like I said, I'm learning Japanese, so I just love hearing the language. I love hearing all languages. I think it's interesting to hear them and to listen to how their music sounds and how their music sounds. I love listening to different Spanish music too. I think it's very interesting to listen to Italian. Different people sing in different styles, and I think you can tell the emotion by how the singer sings. So you may not know the words, but you can kind of feel what they're saying. And that's why I think music transcends all languages, because you can feel what they're trying to obey. If they're singing, they might be singing with a melody that's sad. You're like that. They're sad. They're sad about something. You may not know exactly what it's about, but you'll probably feel sad from listening to it, or happy, or excited, or whatever. And so, definitely love anime music. I love it. I love, I have discovered a lot of different artists and different songs that I really just fell in love with because of watching anime. Like M-Flow, against all gods. That song is amazing. That's from Black Clover, an ending. Like I found quite a few songs from different ones, and of course I think I have like all the Hunter x Hunter songs too, because I love most of theirs too. But I just think it's great. You get to discover these different artists that maybe you wouldn't have discovered. Some of these haven't done anything with animes, but that doesn't mean anything, because they're still really great bands. So if you're into great music and you like rock music, or you like any of these different groups, metal music, if you don't care if it's in English or not, definitely listen to them. That's another reason why I like Stray Kids. Stray Kids also do music in Japanese, so that's why I kind of like Stray Kids as well, because I do like to listen to their Japanese versions, because it gives me more exposure to Japanese. So for sure. All right, now I'm gonna have a little fun asking a question at the end. Okay, this is going to be my LGBT corner. Okay, we're gonna just do something. We're either going to talk about something LGBT in anime, or ask a question or something. We'll do something. LGBT corner is how we're going to end the podcast from now on. We'll do something LGBT, whether it's talking about an element from an anime, or asking a question like today about Kakashi. And there's a lot of different things that people talk about Kakashi, and I don't want to claim something about him if it isn't necessarily true. I know that Naruto doesn't always have a lot of LGBT themes throughout Naruto. There's not a whole lot. We do see some in original Naruto. We see some in the beginning, but then after that, we don't really see a lot of LGBT. So they're not really known for having a lot of LGBT themed aspects throughout the anime. But that's okay. But it is crazy. One of the things that we hear a lot is the question about Kakashi, because people wonder why Kakashi never ended up with anybody. He hasn't shown any interest in anybody. And so the question is, some people have asked is if he is asexual. Which for you that don't know what an asexual is, the simplest way to basically say what an asexual is that they basically are more into companionship. They're not really attracted to people in a physical sense. It's more about companionship and friendships and just wanting to be with those connections without getting into the weeds or making it more crass. You can definitely look up the more definition if you'd like, but really that's basically what it comes down to, is that they're not really into people in a sexual way. They're more into companionship. And so some people have said this in the past, that maybe that's what Kakashi would be considered an asexual. And some people also say that it may have been that he was in love with Rain, because there was that love triangle, obviously. Obito was in love with Rain, and Rain was in love with Kakashi. And, you know, Kakashi, most people don't know if Kakashi really understood or knew all about that. I think Kakashi was battling his own demons at the time. He had to overcome the obstacles that he had in his way from his father, and what people will always associate you with your parents and what your parents do. A lot of times people will associate you with them. And so I think a lot of people, because he does have a lot of look like his dad, they're always wondering if he's going to be like his dad. And people definitely, you know, had this shame about the White Fang, which he was proud of the White Fang, and I think the White Fang did the right choice. It was sad that it ended the way it ended in the series, but obviously Kakashi is probably one of the saddest stories in Naruto, because he experienced so much loss, and, you know, lost Obito. Of course, he didn't know that Obito survived, but they became friends, and he did have a love for him. Obviously, that Obito was angry at him because of killing Rin, but some people will say that it was because he did actually love her, that it was too much for him, that when he killed her, had to kill her, that he basically could not really want to be with anybody. But he does read a lot of romance novels. Does like Pervy Sage's books. So there could be a romantic aspect to him, but we've never seen him really in that category or in a romantic avenue. But it's okay if he is an asexual, if that's really what he was all about. It's just companionship and his friendships, and that's why he had a great friendship with Rain and Obito and Naruto, and, you know, all these different people along the way. It was about the relationships more than it was about anything else. That's perfectly fine. I'm definitely fine with that. But even if he isn't, you know, obviously can't say for 100, only the creator can say, obviously. And most likely, because there's not a lot of LGBT themes, he would say no. But I think you can make a case that he is. But like I said, it doesn't matter, you know, because obviously he's never been with anybody. It's all about companionship. So to me, I'm sorry, I see him as that. But like I said, I don't want to, I guess, act like we're stealing him. You know, some people get this thing about against the LGBT, that we're trying to take everything. And I don't think that in a way. I just think that we make, like, it. We obviously want representation, to see ourselves represent, you know, throughout. Everybody wants to see a representation of them throughout media. You know, that's why people were excited about when, you know, they're, you know, the, you know, black community was excited about, you know, Black Panther, you know, because it was the first superhero that was black. You know, you didn't see a character like that. You know, 1966 was the first year that they put a black character in. 1968, they came out with an African American character, and actually American born African American, so they with Falcon, and obviously DC didn't come out with anybody. They gave you John Stewart in 1971, but they couldn't even come up with a new character. They came out with, oh, we'll just give you a rebrand, and we'll just make this version, that he's black. They didn't come out with an all, black character into, what was it, 1980 when they came out with Cyborg. I think it was 1980 when they came out with Cyborg. So, anyways, but it is always great to see that representation, right? We want to see that representation. That's why people like that representation in anime too. You want to see that representation of yourself. And that's the same with the LGBT community. We want to see ourselves represented. In not everything is the same. So I think that's always important, and I like seeing those things. Obviously, throughout. I love seeing other people represented in animes or any film or whatever. It's nice to see representation through whatever minority is represented. It's always nice to see them represented for sure. So, anyways, I love Kakashi. I absolutely love Kakashi. It's just a question I thought I would put to you, and really honestly, I think you can make an argument for it, because he really wasn't. It's not like he was in anyone. We never saw him show that kind of love. So it does seem like it would definitely, if the shoe fits, let it fit, I guess. But anyways, I appreciate everybody that joined me today. Thank you so much. Definitely remember, if you are getting energy, if you are looking for an energy source, get yourself some Rogue Energy, and use the code Firehawk to save 10%. Would greatly appreciate that. Definitely, it's how I wake up every morning, is drinking Rogue Energy. That's my coffee. I don't drink coffee in the morning. I just put some my powdered Rogue Energy in my water, and then I go. And so definitely get that. Would greatly appreciate it. Go to rogueenergy.com and use code Firehawk to save 10% each and every time you use it. Thank you for joining me, and join me next week right here on the Masked Shinobi, and obviously we'll see what next week's episode will entail, and so what animes I'll be watching, and different news that will come on throughout. Obviously, this was very interesting about McDonald's. I thought it was really cool. Definitely excited to see the different things that come from this, and so we'll see what happens. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time right here.